Imagine you're a visitor on planet Earth, and your very first 2 weeks consist of nothing but heavy fog. You can see only a mere feet ahead of you, and you wonder about all that you've heard about this planet from your small corner of the universe. You've been told it's an amazing place, and you think, who can love this place? It shrivels the soul, and it clouds the brain. You can't look far, and you certainly can't see any color. Then imagine you get up on day 15, and you have no idea what that bright stream of light coming through your windows is all about. So you leave the warmth of your comforters. You venture to the window, you pull back that flimsy curtain, and it reveals a spectacular scene. It's blinding, actually. Once your eyes have acclimated, you see a scene that's more stunning than you could have ever imagined. And this is what you see. You see a variety of trees, the deepest, richest green. You see a rainbow of red and orange and yellow. And beyond that, you see a jagged mountain range covered in what you're told is snow. You see people dressed in colorful coats, some with hats and scarves, others with boots, and a few accompanied by various sizes, shapes, and colors of animals. The people carry packages, precariously balanced, while they try not to slip on the fresh snow. So this is it, you exclaim. This is what everyone's talking about. Yeah, this is it. And to you and me, this sounds like nothing unusual because we know what's out there. We know what's behind and above the fog. We know even when we can't see it. But if you're new to planet Earth, you don't know. We've had a whole lot more fog this autumn season than we ever have, well, not ever, but in previous years, many previous years. And as a result, our outside and our inside experiences are also different. What's your experience? How many of you like the fog? I do, kind of, sometimes. Yes, varying experiences with fog. Of course, it hampers our travel because we have to be able to see to travel. Some people find fog somewhat mysteriously charming. Others say it's utterly gloomy. It even happens that some days we can see the beauty in fog, and again, other days, all we want to do is stay under the covers because it's closed in over us. Now we can smile at or we can dismiss imaginations, but there's always a certain amount of truth somewhere. We know this feeling of living in a metaphorical fog, closed in, dark. The end date and outcome of whatever it is that haunts us, gives us grief, causes us trouble. We don't know when that will end. It's uncertain. Some of our fellow citizens have lived in this place, this metaphorical fog, for a very long time. Some of our siblings, the ancestors, the first inhabitants of this land certainly lived in that place. Others of our siblings were forcibly brought to this land, and they still don't know when their redefined servitude, their second-class citizen status, will come to an end. Others who fled here were hoping for relief from human threat, war, famine, drought, and other impossible living conditions. Many still live in this fog of uncertainty and fear. Can we stay? Will we be expelled? What does the future hold? If you've been at all alert to what is happening politically, interpersonally, environmentally, you'll know that we face an uncertain future. We wonder when this fog that seems to be intensifying will lift, or if it will lift. And as we've said and sung many times, how long? How long, oh God? Can we say with any degree of certainty that just as our literal winter valley fog will someday end, that this agony, this pain, this personal and national moment will be lifted as well? It feels almost like a malicious cliche to say, yes, it will. Many of those who reach for the scripture will pull a text from here and a text from there to substantiate what they already firmly believe. I admit I do that too, even though I struggle against that. We all see through our own particular lenses, which is why it's so important to look for a different set of glasses, other glasses with which to observe and read, new acoustical environments, so to speak, in which to hear. What did the words that Vicki read for us from Jeremiah 33 raise within you? Was it hope? Was it despair? What was the tone like? Let me give you just a little bit of background. Jeremiah was a prophet who lived about in the 7th or 6th century BCE and is claimed as a significant spiritual figure for Judaism, Islam, and Christianity. The writings attributed to Jeremiah are dramatic and descriptive. He is said to be the weeping prophet, and his private life, as well as his public speaking ministry life, is recorded for us, at least in part. This weeping prophet suffered imprisonment. There were plots against his life as he pushed for reform. He was beaten, and he was in constant conflict with other prophets around him, those who prophesied peace, while he insisted that destruction was coming. Yes, destruction. So how does this text from Jeremiah 33, one that has a decidedly hopeful tone, I feel, how does that fit into this turbulent and dismal prophetic life? Throughout his life, Jeremiah came to know Yahweh like very few people do. Jeremiah knew divine dealings. He knew what God was like. He knew and heard clearly, and he spoke fearlessly. This comes as a result of endless hardship and being cognizant of every new threat. It's not fun to be a prophet, if you hadn't known. And yet, these words we hear, that we heard this morning, come from God via this weathered prophet too. Hopeful words. Words of certainty and with new vision. The days are surely coming, says Yahweh. Not says Jeremiah. Not says Julia. Says Yahweh. And then there is a string of I wills that come. Promises. Words such as surely, I will, I promise, righteous, justice, integrity, safety, security. They follow in quick succession. So Jeremiah gives us the impression that he is certain that Yahweh will act. Has Jeremiah always seen blessing and promise and righteousness and justice and integrity? Has he consistently dwelt in safety and security? I would have to say an emphatic no to that. And yet he makes these statements with such certainty. He was able to see beyond the fog, beyond the death threats, the imprisonment, the ongoing conflict. Why? Because Jeremiah had an intimate understanding of who God is. He could also see clearly what Yahweh's deepest intentions are. If you look at the scriptures that we hold dear, both the Hebrew and the Christian portions, The overarching themes are blessing, promise, justice, security, integrity, and safety. This is divine intention. This is not actuality all of the time in every space and in every season. Becoming aware that this is intention allows us to have hope, because our hope draws from a wellspring of divine love. We come to understand God's nature and action toward people and planet as so much more than benevolent. It is extravagant love. The overarching theme is our North Star. This is enough to orient our lives, regardless of our current reality and what we're experiencing. We don't deny it, just like we don't deny the fog, but we know what's out there beyond it. There is a red cord running throughout history. Knowing this divine promise and intention then captures our attention. When fog shrouds our day-to-day lives, we must remember when sickness, an ever-changing pandemic, grief and loss, injustice at every turn, threats spewed by those in highest level of government, relational conflicts and rifts, economic burdens, when all of this is firmly settled around us like fog, we have the invitation to look beyond. Sometimes it will require us to remember what God has promised, and remember when we have been the recipients of those promises in the past, whether in brief moments, glimmers of hope, relief, being embraced, or in longer periods of deep joy and gratitude. As I thought about this metaphor of fog, it occurred to me that faith is linked to fog. When we think about faith, we may think about people who are strong and steady, unshakable, firm in who they are and what their truth is. But faith is all about uncertainty, taking action even though not all the facts are in, the ability to carry on in spite of incredible challenges. That's faith. It has to be exercised in the dark place, the tired, the lonely, the exasperated place. At about mile 25 of a marathon, every morning also, as someone struggles to get up, having suffered addiction, getting up, determining one more hour, one more day, I will hold on. That is faith. Somewhere deep down, we hold on to a shred of hope that what we have been assured of will certainly carry us. That the one we put our trust in is trustworthy and will continue to be trustworthy. That there is a steady, unshakable anchor that will keep this boat moored. Our minds strong, our bodies moving forward, our resolve to make life-giving decisions, our resolve to walk through the valley of the shadow of death. It will be worth it, though it will not always be smooth. It will give deep peace, but the ride is a roller coaster. Remember, faith can function in the fog because there is a North Star. The key to the promise and intention Jeremiah presents here is the righteous branch from the line of David. That comes from the Jeremiah text. Scholars throughout the millennia have noted that this is a harbinger of Jesus coming to earth. It's because this bringer of justice and integrity will come on the scene that we can embrace hope. People could find that hope, still hoping to find and to learn and to know about Jesus, this harbinger of hope. And we still find that hope knowing that Jesus has come and lived a life completely in line with this divine intention to bless, to give hope, to be secure. That is what Advent is all about. Remembering who came after a long and painful wait. Recognizing that divine intention is always justice and security and righteousness and safety. Knowing that the intention hasn't changed from its original design. We can be filled with gratitude, knowing that there is so much more beyond the fog that even we don't see. It is what all of history highlights, even as we continue to wrestle with real and thorny issues in our day-to-day. When we see one rightful jury decision to hold people accountable, it is fulfillment of divine intention. When we see the obstruction of justice, it is a reminder that we still live with dense, heavy, debilitating fog. One does not cancel out the other. We can go to bed at night, we can get up in the morning filled with hope, even as we push against the brutality of the world. We have seen what's beyond and above the fog. We know what's out there, even when we can't see it. So when someone is as unfamiliar with your North Star as someone from another universe coming to our planet, when they express doubt in what's beyond the fog, you can say with certainty, the overarching theme of life on this planet is the divine intention to bring blessing, justice, security, hope, and integrity to this land. May we all be a part of that, and may it be so.